Well, Keegan, thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me, Julian. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you're doing and seeing what's going on with you. Just for context, you've invited me on your show 2 times already.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And each time, just by the nature of how I do conversations, we kind of led into some of your personal areas. And so here we are making some space to really go into those and just see what we might find.
Yeah. I'm excited for it, and having you on each time has given me some really deep insight that I otherwise probably wouldn't have come across in a way that you shape the message. And sometimes you say it just the way that I needed to hear in that moment. So I'm excited to kind of explore a little bit more and see what we can actually dig up or put to rest, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. Well, in that sense, was there anything that really stood out to you that maybe you wanted to talk about or address in the beginning?
Ooh, so it's kind of interesting, right? Because whenever like I've been working on myself a lot, it's kind of like I used to kind of go in like, let's go this route, and a lot of the times it would end up going somewhere completely different. And so I've been trying to not like force a topic up or like think too hard about this leading into this because I was like, I just want my body to kind of see what's going on in the moment. So today, as I was pondering, it was more along the lines of like identity, because growing up with ADHD or ADHD, whatever it is that I got, I had to really sacrifice a lot of myself, and so I don't know if I ever really found out who I am, and I'm kind of figuring that out in my 30s, and it kind of sucks.
Okay. That's something really powerful and really good to dive into. And that's pretty common, actually. Before we go into it, though, I'm just curious, why does diving into who you are and figuring out who you were before you sacrificed yourself, why does that suck?
Mm, well, I guess the obvious answer would be because it's comparison of myself to other people.
Hmm.
Sitting there and looking at other people's accomplishments in the world
Hmm.
and then comparing them to my own. After a decade long of alcoholism, it's kind of hard to not regret a little bit of that, because it feels like a lot of wasted potential or energy. And I'm just glad that I'm not dead so I can maybe fulfill it somehow. But I feel like I could have done a lot better of a job, you know?
Okay. So there's a comparison to other people, and then
Hmm.
you're saying, I feel like I could have done a better job. On the other hand, there's a part of you that's speaking and saying, I'm just happy to be alive after 10 years of alcoholism.
Yeah.
This comparison to other people and the I haven't done enough. What's the bad thing here? What's the consequence?
Hmm. Really, it would be the long-term health effects, I guess, because maybe I will hit the candle out a little bit too soon. Um, hmm. I also feel like I could have avoided causing a lot of pain along the way, and I aim to do the opposite of that.
To
So,
to yourself or to others?
hmm both.
Okay.
I try to not cause pain. I try to help
Yeah.
others heal. So,
Okay. So in the past, you've hurt people, you've hurt yourself, and there's regret here.
hmm
And with this comparison, comparing other people, and you say like, when I'm comparing myself to others, my life isn't measuring up in a sense. That's my interpretation of what you said.
kind of, yeah.
What's the bad thing that's happening with that comparison? Like when you compare yourself to other people or you evaluate your life right now and you say, things aren't the way that I want them to be or they should be a certain way. What's the bad thing? What's happening here?
Mm. I guess I'm not really looking at the things I have done.
Okay.
or putting myself outside of the realm of being able to do those things, maybe.
Okay. Where did you learn this? The
Hmm.
comparison?
Hmm. Uh, Probably. I'd have to say my parents, but not necessarily like they taught me to do it in such a manner. But
Mhm,
the comparison was something that people did, I guess. I don't
mhm.
know.
So you internalized it.
Mm-hmm.
You watched your parents do it in, yeah, society all around you.
Yeah.
What did the comparison do for you? What did it give you? What was the benefit of doing that?
Hmm. The benefit of comparison. Um, Seeing where my weaknesses are and what I can work on, I guess.
Okay. And what does that do for you? What does that give you if you can see the areas that you should work on? Then what?
Hmm. I mean, in the positive sense, it'd be being able to accept that that is a part of me, and then the other part says, well, that means I'm less than because I don't measure up to other people. So,
Okay. So I'm less than, I'm not good enough.
hmm
Okay. So this comparison then, you just mentioned that there's two parts there. The first one is then I can accept that's who I am.
hmm
And then the second one is, but that means that I'm not good enough.
hmm
Where did you learn that you weren't good enough?
um, Again, I don't really know.
Mhm.
So,
What's the bad thing about not being good enough? What's the consequence of that?
don't get love or
You don't get
affection.
love. Okay.
hmm
Okay. So that's pretty straightforward then.
hmm
The evaluation is the comparison to other people is serving a very important purpose. Because if you're not good enough, you don't get love, you don't get connection. But if you could be good enough, then you get those things.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time in your life where your connections, your attachment, the love that you needed was dependent on how you were or who you were?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I guess.
Yeah, of
Just,
course.
yeah, like I felt like if I didn't fit my parents' expectations or idea of who I was or who they wanted me to be, then I didn't fall in line. So,
Hmm. If I don't meet my parents' expectations of who they want me to be, then I don't get the love that I need.
hmm
Yeah. So we started this with you saying that I sacrificed myself. And we can kind of
yeah.
see that there's some wisdom in that part of you who stepped up and said, I need to sacrifice who I am.
Yeah.
And what are you feeling right now?
I don't know. um,
Yeah.
hmm. A little bit of like, I don't know if it would be pride, but a little bit of like being proud of my younger self for being able to think of that. Because thinking of it in that way, it doesn't sound logical or like feasible, I guess. Sacrifice oneself.
Hmm.
So,
So a part of you is proud. Is that like happiness? I'm happy that I adapted this way.
yeah, I'd say so.
And see, when we're kids, there's very specific things that we need. like that we can't survive without them.
Mm.
And first and foremost is attachment. See, as humans, we're born as probably the most immature, undeveloped, independent species on this planet,
Yeah.
meaning for the longest amount of time, meaning that
Mhm.
we can't survive without our attachments or relationships to compare that to like a horse, for instance, and they run on their first day of life.
Mhm.
And it takes a human, what, 4 years to learn how to build those motor skills to do it?
Mm.
We can't survive without our attachments. The other thing that we desperately need in order to survive is authenticity, meaning expression.
Mhm.
So we communicate when we need things, we communicate emotions, we express these things. Every 2-day old baby is going to express to you when they're hungry, right?
Uh,
But what happens when those two are in conflict? Meaning
mm.
that your attachments are threatened by your expression. One of them has to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, ideally these two would go together. They would complement each other, and your attachments would be strengthened by your authenticity, your expression. The person that you are would be valued, accepted, cherished, respected just for who you are.
Mhm.
But that's not the case in our society. So we get told if you're going to act that way, you're going to get a timeout.
Mm.
Meaning, we're going to take away your attachments. We're going to isolate you and disconnect you until you learn to suppress your emotions.
Oof.
So, this sacrificing yourself that you're drawing attention to here, there's a lot of wisdom here. This was an adaptation to very painful circumstances.
Yeah. And if I don't I don't know what to say to that besides just yeah, like I don't know how to, I guess, define what expressing myself is because
Hmm.
I've had to, like essentially say screw whatever it is that I need. It's other people first. It's taking care of everyone or anyone else, and then just trying to make certain people, the ones closest to me, the happiest, I guess. Um,
What does that do for you?
it's gotten me in a lot of hairy situations that make me extremely uncomfortable that don't provide any growth.
Okay. So there's negative consequences, but what does it do for you? What works when you're going out of your way to people please, to take care of other people's emotions? What does that provide for you?
mm, hmm. I mean, in some way, it does help because I do like that is what I want to do. I do want to help people, but I feel that if I sacrifice beyond a certain point where it's only giving and I don't get anything back, I think that's whenever I start losing it. Does that make sense?
Losing.
My mind, losing a sense of who I am, I guess.
Okay. So it's painful.
Hmm.
Ka. Where did you learn this dynamic of put other people's emotional needs or other people's needs ahead of your own?
That one would probably be my mother.
Okay. Where in what age of your life did you learn this, do you think?
Ooh. Hmm. That's a hard one. Um, Because I mean, kids learn by watching, and we're highly impressionable. Why did I say we're? Well, humans are. Um, so watching my mom do that herself for so long, and then watching everyone else in the family do that kind of thing for so long. I mean, I guess it's one of the earlier ways that I thought people operated or should
Okay.
operate, I guess.
So you learned this very early in life.
Mhm.
This was the model for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially.
So early in life, you learn that who you are is not accepted,
Mhm.
and this person needs to be sacrificed. And what takes this place is then I'm going to go and please and take care of everybody else. Because if I do that, then I get the connection.
Yeah.
Okay. And this makes perfect sense because when you're a kid, when you're a child, and your relationships, the thing that you're most dependent on, are
Mhm.
they're conditional depending on how you behave and who you are and what mold you fit into. That's a very dangerous and stressful situation because
Mhm.
the thing that you're most dependent on could be taken away at any minute, any moment. You could just lose it.
Yeah.
That's incredibly stressful. So, how does a child make sense of this? Well, there's only really a couple options. The first one you could say is, well, my parents, my caregivers, all the people around me, they are just not up to the job.
Mhm.
They cannot give me the things that I need. In other words, I'm screwed.
Mhm.
Not a lot to
Yeah.
keep you going as a child there.
Mhm.
So, this wisdom that kicked in with the suppress myself and take care of other people, it also says, well, the people around me, my caregivers, my family, my parents, they're older. They have connections. They seem to be doing okay. So maybe it's not them, but the problem is that I'm not good enough. And if I could be good enough, then I will be safe. Then I will get the connections. Then I'll get the attachments.
Mm. Yeah. Eh. Eh. Yeah.
What are you feeling?
No, like, that's truth, and then I feel like I can see where it would also evolve into the teenage self of hyper independence.
Hmm.
Because yeah, uh, at this point, I've had to do that for so long that part of me thinks that I was raised to be independent while also trying to be self-sacrificing. And then in life, I'm trying to figure out that no, we actually need a lot of connections and I can't be hyper independent. So, hmm.
What are you feeling here? Seeing all of that.
I don't know. Um, um, part of it's regret. uh, cause it's like maybe not regret, but remorse. Cause it's like, oh, I could have done things a whole lot different a long time ago. But at the same time, I don't think I was ready to receive that kind of message or anything. I don't think I was ready for it in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It sounds like there's a couple emotions that you're feeling here. First, it sounded like shame,
A little bit, yeah.
and then it sounded like pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you normally do with these emotions?
Hmm. Well, nowadays, I try to cry and let it out whenever I do feel it kind of come up.
Mhm.
Uh, Sometimes I'll do tarot for some more introspection to see what angles I may be missing. Um, but like I've tried to journal, meditate, um, going for walks, basically anything that I can to maybe soothe the nervous system while I think about the thing.
Okay, so you
Try to
think about it.
process it. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of those were mental. And I'm not saying that they're
Mhm.
not helpful,
Mhm.
but a lot of those are mental process.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you normally do with your emotions then?
Um, stuff them down into a bottle and try to ignore them a lot of the time.
A
Uh,
bottle. What an
no,
interesting analogy.
yeah, used to. Uh,
Is that what drinking did for you?
yeah, yeah. Drinking was both a way to escape the pain. It was also a way to fit in with everyone else.
Mhm.
It was a way to feel normal whenever I've never felt normal. Um, and it was also a slow suicide. So, like, I knew what I was doing. Like, I wanted to die at the time. So, mm,
All of those are the same pain that we identified from your early childhood.
yeah.
And so now we have all these emotions. And where did you learn? Where did you learn to suppress them, to stuff them down?
Way early on.
That's
Like,
that's the sacrifice yourself right there, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, because when you sacrifice yourself, that's what you're doing is your expression, your emotions, your boundaries, that gets suppressed.
Yeah.
How'd you do that as a kid? How did you suppress your emotions?
Oh, I don't even know. Uh, actually, uh, I came to this realization the other day. I don't know how proud of it I am. I'm not, obviously, but one of the first things I would do was masturbation whenever I found it out.
Yeah.
Um, and that worked wonders whenever you're a little kid, you know?
Hmm.
Um, then after that, trying to be out of it turn into anger a lot of the time. But otherwise, I don't know. It just got shoved down into a well
Hmm.
until it couldn't.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh, hi, Layla. Maybe you hear my dog's feet coming over here, just coming to say hi. Okay. So you stuffed them down. And the way that
Mhm.
you did that was through activities that would
Mhm.
take you away
Mhm.
until the emotions couldn't come be stuffed down anymore. And it sounds like then that anger, they come bursting
Mhm.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is that pattern that we're talking about of the sacrifice yourself, which is you're in an environment, you're growing up in an environment that is fundamentally going against your most basic human needs. So it's dangerous. It's not safe.
Mm.
It's incredibly painful. Do you know what would happen to a newborn baby if you feed the baby and keep the baby warm? So you give them their nutrients and enough to physically keep them alive, but you don't hold the baby?
Mm-mm.
They actually die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes. They will actually die. And there's a few reasons for that, which is a baby doesn't know how to regulate their emotions.
Mhm.
And when they're changing environments, like going from the womb to being underneath these bright fluorescent sterile lights and being disconnected from their host that they developed from,
Mhm.
panic doesn't begin to describe what they're experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this panic is so great that it overwhelms their entire nervous system,
Hmm.
and they will actually die from being overwhelmed.
Wow. Huh.
That's not much different from being 2 years old or 4 years old, is those fundamental needs are still there.
Mhm.
Namely, the inability to regulate emotions in the way that an undeveloped nervous system, like a baby, learns how to regulate their emotions is through touch.
Mm. Huh.
Yeah, in the neuroscience language, the way that they actually describe it is the immature nervous system actually develops by downloading the information from the mature regulated nervous system.
Huh.
And they do that through touch. But what
Huh.
happens if you don't get that? Or what happens if, even further, as you've identified, the mature regulated nervous system is not so mature or regulated, and it has these same adaptations?
Yeah. Just kind of fries.
Well, we never learn how to regulate emotions.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so then these emotions are overwhelming. And what do we do with that?
Anything besides, well, I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know.
You told me you bury it down and stuff it in the bottle.
Uh-huh.
We do everything we can to disconnect from it.
Yeah. This oh, I see, yeah.
The pain's so big and overwhelming, and we don't have the ability to process it. So all we can do is try to get away from it.
Mhm.
And that's where those patterns come in of suppress the emotion because angry boys don't get loved. Babies who cry, we have plenty of research that shows babies who cry more than babies that don't get more stress from their parents.
Mhm.
They're put under more stress from their parents.
Yeah. Huh.
So, as children, we learn very early suppress the emotions. This pain is too much, make it go away. And then we look
Yeah.
for things to help us distract from it.
Yeah.
You told me what the alcohol did for you.
Yeah.
It helped you to disconnect from that pain.
Mhm. Yeah.
The
Until
people
it
pleasing. Go ahead.
mhm. No, I was just gonna say the alcohol helped me disconnect from the pain until it became another source of pain.
Hmm. All of these are short term adaptations to pain.
Mm.
This pattern here of suppressing the emotions is one that we develop very early in life. It's a child's adaptation. It's a child's way of thinking about things.
Mm.
So of course it provides short-term relief in the sense until it doesn't even provide that, and then it just provides suffering.
Mm.
People pleasing, same thing.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question, Keegan, is this part of you that adapted to all of these adverse experiences, the dangerous situations, the lack of safety, the conditional relationships, the volatility, the unpredictability, all the
Mm.
stress, all the pain. Well, actually, I'm going to ask you one question before that. Who'd you talk to about all this when you were a kid?
No one?
No one.
I couldn't.
Yeah. So you were totally alone with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where the belief of I have to be strong and independent comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is this part of you who adapted to all of these situations in the ways that were available. So
Mhm.
suppressing your emotions, sacrificing yourself, distracting yourself. with activities and substances and things to take away this pain. What is your view of this part of you who stepped up and did all these adaptations?
Mm, hmm. What is my view of the part of me that stepped up for all that?
And did all those adaptations, took up the alcohol, took up the masturbation, took up the I gotta be strong, took up the people pleasing.
A lot of me sad. um, um, I don't know. Like sad and kind of proud of them for having made it through, like I said, but
Hmm.
and I guess it's kind of like I'm trying to grieve someone that I didn't even know.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's kind of hard to say.
Do you like this part of you? Do you dislike it?
I hate that I can see where it can be advantageous or supposedly, but a lot of the times I think it has its own problems that are even worse sometimes.
Okay. We don't have to make sense of it right now.
Yeah,
I'm just asking you, what's your view of this part of you? These patterns that you have, do you like them? Do you dislike them?
I dislike them.
You use the word hate.
No.
Now, I'm not saying we have to judge
Mhm.
or evaluate here. We're just figuring out what's your relationship to this part of you.
Yeah, I mean, hate's probably not the right word.
It's not about right or wrong right now. It's just what's there. See that's the evaluation. And
Uh,
and it's okay if that is.
yeah. I think the initial reaction is hate, but it's the underlying part is sadness, you know?
Yeah. Hmm. I hate that I had to do this, and how painful is it that that's what I had to do?
Yeah. And I hate that sometimes I feel like I can't get out of that cycle.
Hmm.
Like I want out because that I don't feel like that that was me. So, hmm,
So you're stuck.
kind of, yeah.
Okay. So I hate that I have these cycles, and I hate that I get stuck in these cycles. And how painful is it that one, I had to develop them, but two, I still get stuck in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I've got to feel my way out, not think my way out, right?
And the problem
Uh,
is when these patterns developed is there were a ton of emotions
yeah.
and you didn't know what to do with them.
Mhm.
So you disconnected. Now, if somebody were to put you under a tremendous amount of stress right now, what could you do?
Uh, I could do whatever the job needed to be done.
What do you mean? Somebody's going to come and put you under stress. What job needs to be done?
Normally if I'm under stress, it's because I'm having to fulfill obligations, so I'm not really sure.
Okay. So if somebody comes and they're going to start putting you under stress, they're going to start yelling at you. Let's say that's stressful, or they're going to start pushing you.
Mhm.
What do you do?
breathe and try to get my bearings, I guess, would be the first thing.
Okay.
Um, my diaphragm would probably tighten up a lot.
Okay. So
Um,
this is you going into fight or flight.
mm,
So that's what you can do. You can either fight, you can tell this person, knock it off, don't
mm,
treat me like that,
mm,
get very angry, or you could flee.
yeah.
You could leave.
Hmm.
So your body was telling you right there what you could do in a stressful situation.
Yeah.
But as kids, neither of those are options, are they?
No. Uh-uh.
Yeah, if you
No.
set boundaries, you express anger, or you try to
Hmm.
fight, it'll make things worse most of the times.
Yeah. Because
And
I'm
it's
talking back.
exactly. And then there's more punishment and more criticism. You're not meeting the conditions that we have set forth, and you're going to lose your connections.
Hmm.
And it's not like a 4-year-old can just pack up and go leave and go start a life somewhere else.
Mm-mm.
So that's where the third option comes in, which is if you can't make the stress stop and you can't get away from the stress, there's only one thing left that you can do: go away mentally. We check out,
Yeah.
we disconnect.
Yeah.
And then later in life, we say we have ADHD. No, that's serious.
Hmm.
That's the adaptation right there is we go away mentally. So when you
Mm.
say, I need to feel my way through this and not think my way out of it, that thinking pattern is the adaptation. It was the first outlet that you had as a kid, which is to go away mentally.
Mm. Huh. So thinking is my downfall?
Well, was it your downfall or did it save you and protect you?
I guess it saved me, really.
Yeah. It's just like any of those adaptations. It provided short term relief and
Mm.
protection,
Hmm.
long term suffering and consequences.
Yeah. Hmm. Huh. Hmm. So I'm trying to think, but I can't think my way out of situations or those kind
Yeah.
of things because that's the pattern.
Hmm. So, what you did is very good right there. And that is the first step in working through these patterns, recognizing, identifying when the pattern is active. Ah, I want to think my way through this. See, all of these patterns that we've identified today
Hmm.
all come back to the exact same origin. They all came from the exact same place, which was your environment was dangerous, it was overwhelming, and you didn't have the resources to navigate that. So you adapted to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you a question here.
Okay.
When you were a kid and you were going through all of this pain, difficulty,
Hmm.
what did you really need?
Um, really, I think the biggest thing was just to be able to express myself without feeling like I was going to be abandoned or rejected.
Okay.
Uh, the need to be seen or heard or understood.
Terrific. Excellent. Anything else?
Um, to be Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess to be accepted for who I am and not what I do, that would be one. Um,
Hmm.
and I can't really think of anything beyond that at the moment.
Okay. That's a fantastic, perfect starting place. So let's break it down. Let's
Okay.
break down what these fundamental needs are that went
Mm,
unmet, because that's the source of this pain,
mm-hmm.
right? All of these adaptations that are causing you to suffer today all
Mm,
originate from this pain. So let's really figure out what it would have taken to resolve that pain.
okay.
In order for any of the things that you mentioned to take place, first and foremost, somebody has to be there.
Yeah.
You can't be accepted. You can't be listened to. You can't express and be accepted without somebody being there, first
Mm,
and foremost. So somebody has to be there. Okay.
mm,
What would it look like to be accepted? What needs to happen? This person's there. What do they need to do? What needs to happen in order for you to feel safe expressing and being you rather than having to try to earn and prove your worth? What would it look like to be accepted? What needs to happen?
to essentially just lay everything out, like feelings and like who I am. This is
Hmm.
how I feel about certain things, and to just be heard. Like, and I
Perfect.
think, yeah,
Perfect. Okay. Somebody needs to be there. They need to listen. They need to see you.
mm-hmm,
So they see what you're going through. They listen to you expressing things. Terrific. And then they try to understand what you're going through. Is that where you're getting at with this?
yeah, either understand or just accept.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I think the two go hand in hand together. Like you can't
mm-hmm,
really accept, I mean, you can accept something
mm-hmm,
without understanding it, but
mm-hmm,
to be seen and to be listened to, usually we're going towards some sort of understanding.
yeah,
Okay. I need somebody to be there. I need
mm-hmm,
somebody to be with me. And to be with me means that they're going to listen to me. They're going to see me. They're going to try to understand me. And then they're going to accept me.
mm,
They're going to accept that I have needs.
mm-hmm.
As a human being, I have needs to survive.
Crazy.
I know, right? If you're going to try and plant a tree or a vegetable and it doesn't grow, you don't punish the plant for not growing. You look at the nutrients that you gave the plant. Did it get enough sunlight? Did it get too much sunlight? Did it get enough water or too much water? What were the soil conditions? Was it in the right climate?
Mm-hmm,
We don't punish and exile the plant for not growing. We look at, did we give it the things that it needed to grow?
mm-hmm,
Okay. So in this situation, it's very similar. Somebody's going to see you. They're going to listen to you. They're going to understand you. They're going to accept what you're going through. And then it sounds like there's some validation here.
mm-hmm,
Of course you feel that way. Of course you're angry. Of course you're sad. Of course you're scared. Anybody would feel that way in this situation.
yeah,
How about some comfort?
yeah.
What
Yeah.
would that have looked like?
Um, hmm. Not telling me to shut up whenever I'm crying, because I can't stop. To be held. Um, I don't really know. I guess that's as far
That,
as I know.
that's great. That's fantastic. So we definitely don't want to get punished. for having emotions. That's not going to help the situation. That's what we're actually stepping outside of. That is the default pattern right there is I get punished when I have emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than that, I'm going to be comforted. As a kid, when I'm hurt and I'm crying,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in pain. And so rather than being additionally punished for being in pain, I'm going to get comforted. How about that? What a novel thought.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the majority of parents these days are very well meaning and want to comfort and help their kids, but their doctors are telling them when your kid cries, put them in their crib and close the door and leave them alone. They got to learn to self soothe.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so they get punished for having emotions.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay, so instead we're going to be comforted. What would some comfort look like for you?
I mean, playing games even with a family, like growing up, could
Connection,
be, yeah, yeah, connection.
physical comfort, maybe?
Mm,
What would that look like?
being held and
Terrific.
yeah.
Being held.
Mm,
Hmm. Great. So you need somebody to be with you. You need
mm,
somebody to see what you're going through, to listen to you going through it, to accept, yeah, that you're going through it, to validate and reaffirm you for going through it. Of course you're sad. Of course you're crying. That you're carrying a lot of pain. You went through pain. This is a painful situation. Anybody would feel that way, and it's perfectly normal. And in fact, it's a real human thing to feel the emotions when you go through this. It's okay to feel that way. You don't have to go through it alone. Okay, and of course, you probably need them to do it consistently,
yeah.
not just one time and then never again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all these patterns, the
Mm-hmm.
disconnect, the busy mind, the thinking the things, the distracting, the finding the things to help you distract from the feelings,
Mm-hmm.
all of those are based from these unmet needs. That was the source of this pain. So now here's a question of the rhetorical type, which is
Mm-hmm.
who's the person who needs to do all those things?
Me.
What are you feeling when you say that?
It's a little bit of a silly thing because it's like I kind of know it and I'm trying to work on it. And then I think where I get messed up is that whenever I am doing some inner work and stuff, sometimes I'll have that thought of like, oh, hey, like I'm exploring an avenue, trying to see where it goes, or like if there's something I need to open up or whatever. And then my thought process can just skip a beat and will forget what I was working on. And I think it's because that first thought process, that first loop or pattern of this disconnecting from myself kicks back in,
Hmm. Okay.
possibly.
Okay. So let's look at what just happened right there.
Mm.
And, it's really good that we're recording this too, because then you can see it from the outside perspective if you go back and watch this. When I asked you who's the person who needs to do it, and you raised your hand and gave an expression, I asked you, what was that? And you said, well, it's silly.
Mm.
So there's an immediate judgment, an immediate evaluation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're the person who needs to give you all of these things to meet those needs, who's the person who continues to punish you for having emotions?
Me.
Yeah. See that? There's the pattern right there. See, you learned these things. Your parents taught you them, but then you internalized it. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then you said, I get stuck and I go back into these same patterns. The mind gets busy, I get disconnected. Well, when you're being evaluated and you're being judged, how does that make you feel?
Same way whenever I was growing up, I guess.
And which is what?
Disconnected,
Okay, so that's what
pained.
happens. Okay, there's
Mhm.
pain. Yeah. Does it make you angry?
Sometimes, yeah.
Of course it would, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Does it scare you?
Kind of.
You're being judged. You're being evaluated.
Mhm.
Your relationships are dependent on your performance. So
Mhm.
there's conditions. Is that not scary?
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of pain here. It makes you angry. It would make anybody angry. Scares you. And then all those emotions, they get dumped onto you. You blame yourself. And there's the pattern of shame. Okay. So that's the default. That's what you learned. So now what we want to do is we want to start to recognize that.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You're good.
Okay. So we see that. And then we're going to make a choice. So, first thing we recognize, okay, the pattern's here. I'm evaluating, I'm judging, I'm criticizing. I'm going to punish myself for this too and beat myself up over it. Okay. Now
Mm.
enters a choice.
Okay.
I can keep doing that exact same pattern, or I can do something different. And the something different can look like a whole range of things: journaling, tarot, meditating, all of those things. But they can also be another variation of the exact same pattern, which is a disconnect.
Yeah.
Okay. So, why don't we introduce trying to meet those unmet needs?
Yeah. By going and talking to my younger self, I guess.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Let me ask you, Keegan,
Mhm.
when all this emotion is present, and we've seen a lot of it today, and that's not a judgment, by the way, or an
Yeah, yeah.
evaluation. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having the emotion right here.
Yeah.
So there's no judgment here. But I want you to notice if you judge yourself for that.
Uh, I'm trying not to. I'm a lot better than our second conversation.
Yeah, see, it's okay. Again, we don't have to evaluate or judge or criticize it. It's just, yeah, I do it, or no, I don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it. I'm not proud of it, but yeah, I still do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm asking here is when you feel that emotion, where do you feel it in your body? Okay. In your chest, right around your
Mhm.
heart.
Yep.
Okay. What does it feel like?
It can either be a giant pressure or a stabbing pressure.
Okay. So there's pressure weight.
Mhm.
Okay. It's giant, so heavy,
Yeah.
or stabbing.
Mhm.
Okay. Hot, cold.
Usually hot, I think.
Okay. Heat. What happens to your heart when you're feeling this?
Usually it starts getting really uh active. It starts
Okay.
beating faster.
Okay. So there's a flush of heat, your heart rate increases, your breathing,
Increases too. It gets shallow.
shallow, labored,
Mhm. Mhm.
constricted.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
to really focus on taking deep breaths.
Yeah. Terrific. Okay. So when you feel this pain, when you feel this emotion, the first hot spot is in your heart, in your chest. There's a pressure, a weight, a constriction, a tension, a stabbing feeling. Your heart rate increases, your breathing gets labored.
Mhm.
How often do you feel this?
I don't know. Um, I've never really thought about it.
Feel it every day?
Probably on some degree, yeah. Probably on some level. It's probably at that point where like I don't really notice it because it's a pain I've just gotten used to.
Yeah. Disconnected from.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Do you feel it multiple times a day?
I'd probably say at least a couple.
Okay. When I first started, I'm not comparing here. I'm just telling you about my experience.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Um, when I first started becoming aware of a very similar feeling inside of me, I noticed that once I really started paying attention to it, I noticed I felt it all day, every day. This was just always there. From the
Mm.
moment I woke up until the moment I lost consciousness and went to sleep. And then my dreams were just riddled with it. And I'd wake up screaming every night.
Hmm.
It was always there.
Huh.
I'm not saying that that's what you're going through, but I'm saying that's
Yeah.
what a lot of us have and it just becomes, it's just normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense.
How long has it been there?
I think for as long as I can remember.
Hmm. So your earliest years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're being told as a little kid, if you cry, you need to shut up. And that pattern doesn't just like, it doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's usually there from the beginning.
Mm.
So, I mean, again, I mentioned the literature that shows that babies that cry more get less care. They're met
Yeah.
with more stress than babies that don't cry. So, yeah, this probably goes back to the very earliest formative moments in your life.
Mm.
You mentioned that your mother has very similar patterns.
Mm.
So, chances are when you were developing in the womb, you were internalizing those exact same patterns because that was the input, that was the baseline.
Mm.
Okay. So you asked, what do I do? Do I go and talk to
Mhm.
myself? And I said, maybe. But if we're talking about a baby or a little child who's not going to understand verbal concepts, even a 5-year old or a 10-year old for that matter, conversation is not going to be the best way to help them soothe those emotions,
Mm.
right? What would you do with a baby that was just crying and needed all those things that you needed? What would you do?
Uh, Pick the baby up and then start questioning the baby about what it needs, but trying to figure it out, like,
Uh-huh.
check the diaper, see if it wants its bottle or something, or pacifier.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, just start trying to ask it what it wants.
Okay.
So,
So doing an assessment, right? First thing, picking
mhm,
the baby up, holding the
mhm,
baby.
mhm,
That's usually the first thing, right? That we do
yeah,
is to try and see if they need connection.
mm,
Yeah. Pick them up and hold them and see if that can soothe. And then once they can start to resolve a little bit or balance out, then we can start to say, do you need a change of diaper?
uh
Yeah. But first thing,
mm,
pick them up. You had it. You said it. Pick them up. Great. I mean, same thing with a 2-year-old, right? If you see a 2-year-old crying, what do you do?
yeah, go and check, see if they're okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, 2-year-old, yeah, you can pick them up.
Hmm.
So,
And then You're going to try and see them. You're going to try and listen to them. You're going to try and understand what's going on.
Mhm.
All the things that you needed.
Yeah.
You're going to offer some comfort. You're going to accept, hey, this baby's crying. I got to figure out what's going on.
Mhm.
Great. Okay. So those are the things that are needed. What do you usually do with that feeling in your chest when it's there?
Um, if I honestly had to say, that would be whenever I stop breathing, like, holding my breath. Uh, Whenever I've started this whole journey, I've noticed that I have a tendency to hold my breath,
Yeah.
at a lot of things because I was also told that I breathe too loud and that I don't like breathing. So sometimes I'll catch myself not breathing.
Trying to be good
So
enough.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So what you do then in that sense is you continue the same pattern that caused the pain to begin with.
Mhm.
Okay. So remember the choice.
Mhm.
The pain is here. What do I do with
Mhm.
it? I see the pattern is I treat myself with evaluation, criticism, punishment, so on.
Mhm.
The choice is I can do something different or I can keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So you're feeling this terrible pain in your chest. What would it look like to be present with it, to see it, to listen to it, to accept it, to validate it, to try to comfort it?
Hmm. It's really painful just kind of even going there. Um,
Is it
hmm.
painful going there or is it just the pain that's there?
It may just be the pain that's there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. So we see this goes all the way back to your early years.
Mhm.
So this is the little kid, the little Keegan, who's still carrying around all that pain. What are we going to do?
Uh, Ask him what's wrong. Pick him up and try to connect with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You want to try an exercise?
Yeah.
I'll walk you
Yeah.
through one. Okay.
Sure.
So this doesn't have to be mental.
Okay.
We don't have to do a lot of thinking. There doesn't have to be a lot of dialogue here.
Okay.
I'm suspecting that that's not quite what's needed here. Maybe it is, and I'm sure it will be very useful at certain points.
Mhm.
But I also heard you earlier when you said, I need to feel my way through this, not think my way
Mm.
through this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of wisdom with that. Okay, so let's just do this exercise and we can spend as much time as we need here or as little time as we need here. Okay. This is what
Okay.
it's going to look like. I'll walk you through it first and then we'll try it.
Okay.
What I'm going to ask you to do is just take some nice breaths, close your eyes, and turn your attention to that feeling. So just put your full attention on it. Just notice, what does it feel like? Where do I feel it? What's the sensation like? How often is it here? Just paying attention to it, just listening, trying to feel it, allowing yourself to feel it. Okay. And maybe you can ask it a question, one question, which would be, what do you need? Or what do you want me to know? But otherwise, we don't have to do anything else other than put our attention on it and be with it. We don't have to change it. We don't have to fix it. And we certainly don't have to get rid of it.
Mhm.
We'll be tempted to, right? Because that's
Mhm.
the default pattern is make this thing go away, fix it, and, punish it if we need to make it go away. You don't have to do any of those. So we're just
Okay.
going to put our attention on it. Just pay attention to it. And maybe if you can, if it feels right and if it comes to this point, try to embrace it. Try to comfort it. Try to soften all the areas around it to make a nice, comfortable place for this pain to rest. Just like if it's a little child or a little baby that's crying, we just hold it and just comfort it and rock it and let it know it's safe.
Mm,
Okay? Let's give it a
okay.
try.
Okay.
Some nice deep breaths. If you're comfortable with it, close your eyes and just put your attention into that spot where that pain lives. Maybe you got to look for it. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's right there already. Again, we don't need to fix it or change it or get rid of it. We're just going to spend a couple moments here with it. And just letting this pain know that it doesn't have to be alone anymore. Maybe just letting this pain know, of course, you feel that way. Of course, you feel this way. Anybody would feel this way. You're totally justified and rational for feeling this way. And you don't have to feel this way alone anymore. I'll be right here. What's happening
Yeah.
for you, Keegan?
Um, it's kind of hard to talk to myself,
Mm-hmm.
but it was interesting because whenever you started kind of giving the words, it helped me talk to me, in that sense. And the first thing that I noticed was whenever I actually connected, my shoulders dropped. Like I felt a lot of stress and pressure of sorts kind of go away. I know I keep a lot of stress up in my shoulder right
Mm-hmm.
here. So that like my shoulders dropping was kind of interesting. Um, but um, it felt really good, and it's weird because I feel more regulated now than I did earlier today. Um, because now I feel like a lot more calm and composed, if that makes sense. But it really felt like,
If that makes sense.
yeah.
Questioning.
Well, I mean, it's more like, I guess questioning because it's more asking for an outside perspective because I don't trust myself in some ways.
You're asking for validation.
Yeah.
So you got relief.
Hmm.
That was the, you started to relax. You said you felt good or better, one of the two. Both good and better are assessments. What do you think you felt that was good or better?
Validation or a, a form of comfort knowing that everything's not what it used to be.
Okay.
Um,
Safety.
hmm.
I'm wondering, is that some sort of joy?
Probably. If I had to guess, yeah.
Okay. So and then you said, of course, you felt regulated.
Hmm.
Anything else?
A little lighter, you
Lighter?
know.
Yeah.
Mm, diaphragm feels better, but it it feels more like you just got done with a workout.
Yeah. Tired?
uh, uh-huh. Yeah, tired. Yeah, that's the best way to kind of describe the overall feeling but it's like the good tired.
Yeah, like I'm allowed to rest.
Hmm. Yeah.
There's a part of you, a child, who's carrying all of this stress, all of this pressure of needing to be a certain way in order to get your fundamental needs met. And for a few moments there, those needs were met. And the result was relief, relaxing, peace, happiness, safety, validation, being able to rest. You found all of that in a matter of minutes.
It honestly feels like a big relief too.
Mhm. Now you know that this path exists. You know the outcome of this path, which is all those things that we just found.
Hmm.
And you know that this path of getting there exists inside you. You can get there at any point in time.
Yeah.
So now, what I would really encourage you to do, Keegan, is to make this a practice to
Okay.
continuously do exactly what you just did. Get back to that exact same space. It's accessible, it's right there. And the more you practice it, the
Hmm.
easier it's going to get. And the deeper you're going to be able to go with it, the quicker you'll be able to get there.
Hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
a very simple way to practice it is you just carve out time, you know,
Yeah.
3 times a day, let's say, and you can do it for 5 minutes each time.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, you've spent 15 minutes making yourself a priority.
Hmm.
And I don't know about you, but I spend way more than 15 minutes not making myself a priority, watching stupid videos on YouTube or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So we say for 5 minutes, 3 times a day. We do it in the morning, we do it in the middle of the day, we do it in the evening. We do
Mhm.
exactly what you just did there.
Okay.
It's time for you, where
Yeah.
you are the priority, where you matter, and where you are going to get taken care of. And then, of course, you try and do it as much as you can all throughout the day, as often as you can, even if it's just for 10 seconds at a time.
Mm.
You're going to open up the
Okay.
fridge, you just pause for a second and just put your attention on that feeling. Just to say, I see you. I haven't forgotten about you. I'm still here.
Mm.
What are you feeling? What is that?
Uh, uh, Inspiration, I guess.
Okay.
It's, a little bit of, yeah, feeling proud with myself for that,
Okay.
because 'cause I'm kind of able to say that to myself while I hear you say it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to repeat what you're saying as I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Inspiration, mental state.
mhm, mhm,
That's an idea that comes through,
mhm,
one that you want to pursue.
yeah.
Okay. It sounds to me like what you're saying is, I feel happy.
Yeah.
That's an elusive one right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, it really is.
See, when we learn to suppress an emotion or emotions like our anger or sadness because we get punished when we have them, it's not a
Mm,
buffet where we say, okay, I'm going to get rid of I'm going to hold off on the sadness. I'm definitely going to avoid the anger, but I will definitely take the joy. It
mhm.
doesn't work like that. We suppress all of them.
Yeah.
So now, while you're starting to really notice the pain that's there, the fear, the anger, the sadness, the shame, why would we avoid or ignore the happiness?
We wouldn't.
Yeah, right. You deserve the ability to really enjoy that happiness too. And here you found a practice that leads you to it in a matter of moments.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to start doing that.
Yeah. And you can do it all the time. Like you can do it while you're talking to me here. You can just keep paying attention to that feeling. And
Mhm,
whenever it gets activated, sometimes it just randomly gets activated because it's always active. And then
mhm.
you just smile at it and say, I still see you. And maybe if it's a little kid, you just pick him up and put him on your knee and wrap your arm around him and say, it's okay. I'm here with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy cow. The that just felt really good.
Now remember it. Don't
Yeah.
don't lose it.
Uh-uh.
So
Nope.
anytime that you're in that one of those patterns, you find yourself people pleasing, you find yourself suppressing, you find yourself sacrificing, do this practice. Just pay attention to it.
Okay.
Make yourself a priority. And then you can ask this question of, when I comfort and I soothe all this pain and all those patterns of adaptations soften, all those defense mechanisms soften, who am I underneath all of that?
Mm.
Of course, you don't have to have an answer right now. This is a question
Yeah.
that you pursue while you do this practice.
Mhm, mhm.
It's not a silly question. It's not a sucky question. It's actually quite a wonderful question to see. who are you underneath all of this pain and all of this adaptation to that pain?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting answer.
And you'll find it with
Yeah,
time and practice,
yeah. Time and practice. Oh,
patience,
yeah.
cultivating compassion for yourself. That's what this is all about.
Mhm. Cultivating compassion for myself. Yeah, like the opposite of everything I've ever known.
Everything that you've ever known, yeah. Things that you've been taught.
Mhm.
And those are just the old patterns. And you're so much more than the things that happen to you. So you're in your 30s now. What a wonderful time to start to excavate underneath all of those layers of adaptations and all those layers of things that happen to you and really uncover who you are underneath that.
Yeah. Oof.
What's that?
Shoulder just popped from the tension and stuff in my shoulder loosening up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, when we get wounded physically,
Mhm.
like if you get an injury, let's say, in your shoulder, the shoulder gets stiff and
Mhm.
rigid and immobile, and it's either overly sensitive, it's always hurting, or if it scars over, it becomes numb and we can't feel
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
And if you take the time to exercise that injury and stretch that injury and you nurture that injury, you take very good care of it, you'll get more flexible, a larger range of motion. The pain decreases, the numbness, you start to begin to feel again.
Mhm.
It's exactly the same thing with emotions. We get
Mhm.
very stiff and rigid and inflexible and numb or overly sensitive, and all we can feel is the pain.
Mhm.
And the more and more that we nurture that wound, that injury, the more we take care of it, the more we stretch it, yeah, the softer it gets, the more mobile it becomes, the more we recover all of the things that we had before that, or even
Mhm.
more than that.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, all of these emotions are stored physically, as you're noticing
Mhm.
right here. So when you do this emotional practice, it's really nice to, yeah, stretch out the body and move some of that tension that still exists there.
Mhm. Okay. So do the self-compassion cultivation with a little bit of stretching.
Yeah. They're very similar, right? It's just another form of
Mhm.
taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Mm. Huh. And I guess it's a good way for the body to kind of feel itself again, I guess.
Yeah. Or to feel
Mm.
safe inside of itself again.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the bigger one. 'Cause I remember in is middle school, like late middle school, early high school, someone told me that they thought that I'd be much more comfortable outside of my own skin. And I was like, how do they know that? That's weird. So, hmm, that's weird.
Funny how those come around sometimes, huh?
Yeah, so weird. uh, uh,
Well, how are you feeling, Keegan?
good. It's really good. Uh, relieved, relieved.
Hmm.
Um, excited is another one, and the other one would be that good kind of tired. like after a good workout or a good like soccer game or something.
Yeah. What's this
Hmm.
excited? What's excited?
Um, I get to work on myself. I get to pay attention to the part of me that
Mhm.
I've neglected for so long.
Is
And
this not happiness?
yeah, yeah.
See how elusive it is? It slips right past you.
Holy shit. I never realized that.
Yeah, so just notice how you deprive yourself of happiness. Yeah, you don't have to do that anymore. Happiness is right there. It's in your hand, and it's just up to you to notice that you have it.
Huh. Huh. That's so strange. I don't know if I've ever actually said I'm happy like that.
We've
Hmm.
said it a few times today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think I have in the past like that though, and or really meant it either, or felt it, I guess, maybe. Huh. Yeah, that's weird. Emotions are strange. But no, I feel really good. Like I gotta say thank you because it's uh there's that saying that self can't reveal self to self,
Mm-hmm.
and uh I think I just try to think my way out of situations that I can't think out of.
Yeah. Or be really strong and independent and do everything on your own.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, we identified that one today too.
Mhm.
Both of those are adaptations that you developed very early on to the pain, which is think your way out of it because that's the only way that you can handle the pain.
Mhm.
You can't make it stop. You can't get away from it, so you go away mentally. And you can't rely on anybody who's near you because they're the ones who are causing the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't have to be the case anymore.
Nope. I don't want it to be.
Very
So,
good.
yeah. Thank you, Julian.
Yeah,
That was great.
it's been my pleasure, Keegan.